First off, I want to keep this intro short, so thank you all for 1,000 subscribers. Nothing in life is ever really achieved alone, and this is definitely one of them. So thank you. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, and I hope I can keep making content and having fun with this. Love you guys. This video is primarily for the new players who have just gotten into Monster Hunter, especially in the recent games, most notably Monster Hunter Rise and Monster Hunter Wilds. If you're just getting into this franchise and you want to learn more about the monsters you're facing and their distinctions from one another, then maybe this video is the one for you. As for my Monster Hunter veterans, let me know down in the comments if I missed anything or any fun facts you might like to share. In any case, make sure to like and subscribe and let's talk about it. Monster Hunter has a lot of wyvern classes, and I think it'd be good to start with the lamest one of them all, Piscine Wyverns. Now, I know this class has a fair share of enjoyers, so to the 7 of you that still see something good to like in this class, kudos to you. But for everyone else, Piscine Wyverns usually look like fish. I say usually because hunting them suggests otherwise. I mean, if I ever saw something like this while swimming or fishing, I'd my pants. You have your Plesioths, Cephadromes, Biototis, Sizz, but they all have their similar features. Not only do they inhabit regions with abundant water sources, they also have fins of varying sizes. They tend to stand on their hind legs when they're not swimming, and despite being fish, somewhat, they do have the ability to breathe on land. Unfortunately, while this is all cool to know about, they suck. At least, in my opinion. I've never really enjoyed hunting them, and I don't think I ever will. Now, for those who don't fancy their fishes, let me introduce you to the Leviathan class. These guys are very long, but that's not all they're known for. From the river-dwelling Gobel to the incredibly sexy Uthduna, their bodies usually mimic those of serpents with features from other animals. I say serpents because some of them move around as such, leave me alone. Just like Piscine Wyverns, their habitats are of the aquatic variety, mostly in swamps and marshes and rivers, and some of them even reside in volcanic regions like Agnaktor. And if the name couldn't imply, some of these guys are huge, the largest being Jin Dahad from Monster Hunter Wilds. Not only is he massive, he's also very heavy, much heavier than most creatures of similar size. And for you power scalers out there, Leviathans aren't really weak. Magma Almudron from Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak was ranked alongside monsters like Tigrex, Diablos, Rathalos, all who are pretty much strong in their own right. Then again, you have Jin Dahad, who I won't go over in depth, but the power output in his ice abilities rivals that of Elder Dragons. But if you're interested in learning more, you should definitely watch my Wild Strongest Monsters video after you're done with this one. All in all, Leviathans are a pretty cool bunch, and I enjoy hunting most of them. Okay, remember when I said that Piscine Wyverns were lame? I kinda lied. Bird Wyverns were some of the first monsters introduced in the series, and they never really got better for the most part. They usually come with slender bodies and wings, but some of them resort to standing on their hind legs because bird. And if Bird Wyverns didn't hint at it before, yes, most of them do come with feathers and beaks. You got your fodder with the whatever dromes and the whatever preys, then you move up to actually interesting ones like Mephisto, who swoops into the sky, confuses you, sings you a lullaby and puts you to sleep, and even has a deviant that can turn invisible. Nightcloak Mephisto. You got the lame ones like Yankuku and Gypsaros, but then you have Yangaruga and its deviant, Deadeye Yangaruga. It's hit or miss with this class, but hey, at least they're not fish. There are a few classes that don't have as extensive a roster as the ones mentioned before. One of them being Neopterons, and if you don't know what the hell that is, don't worry. Neither did I until I did the research for this video. Neopterons have insectoid-like appearances, kitted out with rigid carapaces made out of chitin and 6 limbs. Basically, they're the insects, and it's your obligation to squash every single one of them. Some of them have transparent wings to fly, as well as having the ability to reduce defense on a target. While they aren't many in number, they do have a few popular ones, and by few, I mean one. Atauka is the final boss of Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate's G rank, and with her came one hell of a boss fight. From the music, to the difficulty, to the spectacle, to the final bout, it really brings everything together for me. Easily in my top 3 final bosses. Then you have the Temnocerans, and apart from being a little awkward to say, the 5 or so monsters that make up this list aren't super bad. If Neopterons are the insects, then these guys are the arthropods. They resemble large spiders and everything else a spider comes with. Giant thoraxes, multiple eyes, some form of venom, and most importantly, they all come with some way to utilize their soak. Nerscylla can put you to sleep as well as poison you. Both Rachnas can set everything on fire pretty much, and Lalabarina, the newest addition, can produce paralyzing florets that linger in the air. Not abundant, but also not boring for the most part. Y'all like crabs? Carapaceons, I hope I'm saying that right, are pretty much just your standard crab with unique, cool distinctions that definitely play a role in how they are to hunt. Sarcasm aside, these guys aren't all that. They come with a pair of claws and extremely hard shells, and funny thing, if you break the shells, they'll just go into a new area and immediately get a new one. The most notable ones are the Daimyo Hermitor, with 2 large claws mainly used for defense, and the Shogun Cyanotor, with 2 long and sharp claws that cause severe bleeding. They even got cool deviants: Stonefist Hermitor with a noticeably larger claw on one side than the other, and Rustrazor Cyanotor, which is just the regular species on steroids. And similar to Carapaceons, kinda, you got your Amphibians. Actually, I should have put these guys along with the Leviathans, but whatever, it's too late now. Unfortunately, you only really got 2 to 3 cool ones. They're quadrupeds with large abdomens that can expand to sizes several times their normal size, and large gaping maws. They usually resemble frogs, so you know their jumping abilities are second to none. Tetsukabra uses its giant tusks to shovel rocks out of the ground and slams them down with incredible force. And its deviant, Drill Tusk Tetsukabra, is pretty much your typical wrestler stereotype. Zamtrios resembles a shark, and yes, this thing does have an inflation fetish. Tetranodon decided to follow in its footsteps, and it also took a lot of inspiration from sumo wrestlers because, goddamn, he's a pretty chunky boy. And then you have Chotacabra, but hey, at least he's not a fucking fish. And now, the class you've all probably been waiting for, Flying Wyverns. There's a lot to go over, and I'll try not to make it boring. Their forelimbs have been replaced either with full-on wings like Rathian or Rathalos, or arms with attached wing membranes like Tigrex. While they all have the capability of flight, some of them tend to stand on their hind legs or go on all fours and just chill on the ground, until they decide to become a problem, that is. However, Eucanlos and Acantor are outliers since they don't have wings, but they do share the same body structure with other wyverns like Nargacuga, so it's all good. There's so many of them, each with different methods of traversals and fighting. Bosarios and Gravios have incredibly tough rock-like skin and like to roll around and move through the earth. Kezus love to scream a lot and shoot thunder at you. Rathian, Rathalos, and all 7 billion of their subspecies, variants, and whatnot are pretty much dominators of the skies, unless there are other Elder Dragons around. Tigrex and Diablos both love running you over. Bazelgeuse is Bazelgeuse, that absolute dickhead of a monster. Legiana can't stop screaming her ass off, and we don't really talk about Arkfeld. But there's so much more, and they're all so different that you'll never be bored hunting them. And you better bet they aren't a weak group of monsters either, so go out there and have some fun. You won't regret it. The Fanged Beasts are mammalian in appearance, either on all fours or on their hind legs, though some of them do interchange at times. They got colorful, distinctive coats of fur, and their resemblances vary, from bears to gorillas, to rabbits, mammoths, and much more. You all probably recognize them from watching my previous videos, and if you haven't already, you probably should because they're bangers, and no, I'm not ashamed. Rajang is a big funny monkey who's also Goku's cousin. Arzuros just wants to give you a big ass hug. Gotsarog is literally abominable snowman, and Ajarakan is the Beyblade monkey. Goated group of monsters and some of the best fights you'll come across. Then there are the Snake Wyverns. There's only 2 large monsters, and guess what they resemble? That's right, Danger Noodles. But in all seriousness, Najarala is an alright monster. Just imagine what a snake usually has, and then he probably has that on crack or something. Not super cool, but hey, it's something. Now we get to the Brute Wyverns, and oh boy, if you thought hunting with Flying Wyverns or Fanged Beasts was something, maybe you'll get a kick out of this one. Brute Wyverns are just that. Brutes. They specialize in power one way or another with incredibly strong hind legs and absolutely massive frames. They are considered far more powerful and aggressive than monsters from other classes, and each generation comes with absolute bangers. Brachydios develops a slime that explodes after a short while, or he can even coat his arms with it and just absolutely right hook you to next week. Raging Brachydios is even more so destructive, able to cover entire areas with his slime. Glavenus and Hellblade Glavenus have extremely sharp tails, and the latter can produce blast clouds, so I advise not going into that at all. Duramboros is a fat ass, and then you have Deviljho. I know I've talked about him a lot, but seriously, does it get more animalistic than Deviljho? He's hunger incarnate and shoots dragon blight out of his mouth like a flamethrower. Great group of monsters and great hunts all around. Coming towards the end here, we can't exclude the Fanged Wyverns. Unlike Brute Wyverns, these guys tend to have highly developed forelimbs, as well as being quadrupedal, with varying body structures. The most notable of them is an ogre, which was the only Fanged Wyvern up until the 5th generation. At that point, you had Great Jagras, Dodogama, Odogaron, all unique in their own rights. Then you get to Monster Hunter Rise, and you'll see Lunagaron with her ice cold coat and werewolf aesthetic, and Magnamalo, who can produce blast clouds and has a spear-like tail. Honestly, not too many of them, but still a cool class of monsters, all things considered. And now, to top off this mess of a video, let's discuss the Elder Dragons. These guys don't actually fit into any of the classifications in this video, and so they were put in a group of their own. Many dragons tend to have 4 legs, wings, and horns, each with varying designs. There are some blatant exceptions, such as Kieran being inspired by the unicorn creature and Narcarcos resembling a cuttlefish more than anything. They have pretty long lifespans and most of them are very intelligent, but the thing that separates them the most from other monsters is their absolute power. To put it simply, they can alter entire environments without breaking a sweat. In lore, they're referred to as natural disasters, which they might as well be. Their blood is also very special, containing bioenergy and traces of the dragon element itself. Any monster that consumes his blood over a long period of time can grow to be a tempered monster, and elder dragons can take it a step beyond that and become arch-tempered, only growing stronger. This is probably the biggest class of monsters, both in size and in number. You got Chameleos, who can camouflage itself in its self-made mist. Amatsu can command the very storms themselves and can call down destructive bolts of lightning. Dalamadur, the largest monster in the franchise, is a massive snake-like creature who resides in mountains. Shagaru Magala, who utilizes a deadly virus that converts monsters into more aggressive versions of themselves. And the strongest monster of them all, Fatalis, capable of producing flames with unmatched levels of heat and power, and is responsible for the fall of an entire kingdom. There's so much more to talk about these guys, but honestly, I'd rather you guys go out and find out for yourselves. This is why I love Monster Hunter. There are so many enemies to conquer and fights to master, and you'll never find boredom around the next challenge. If you guys liked the video, drop and comment down below if I missed anything or any facts you'd all like to share. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of my content. I know some of you are waiting for the Roblox Soupborn video, and it will come. It's just a matter of finding a good time to record. But in any case, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Love y'all.